the grammar section seems to be very important. So I used to revise that, and for quant section as well, my revisions would get start by revising all the concepts and the formulas, and then appearing for the numericals. In and all, I used to solve at least 4 to 5 mocks on an average in a week. And importantly, the analysis part of that examination used to get happen right after the CET. So that helped me a lot, right after the exam.
Okay, okay, okay. So here a point, most important point to note is those students who are preparing for CMAT exam and also want to appear for the CET exam. This guy was working, ठीक है, जॉब कर रहा था, उसके साथ वो वीकली 4 से 5 मॉक्स दे रहा था, तो नथिंग शुड स्टॉप यू फ्रॉम टेकिंग 1 मॉक डेली, क्योंकि MBA CET के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है मॉक्स, क्योंकि उसमें स्पीड कैप्चर करना, उतने स्पीड में उतने क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना, इवन दो देयर इज नो नेगेटिव मार्किंग, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप सभी क्वेश्चन तुक्के मार दो, राइट, क्योंकि उसका कुछ एक्यूरेसी नाम की भी कुछ बात होती है, राइट. सो अगर लोग जॉब करते करते अगर 4-5 मॉक्स वीकली दे सकते हैं, तो आप अगर जॉब नहीं कर रहे हो, इफ़ यू आर स्टूडेंट और इफ़ यू आर रिपीटिंग फॉर द, if you have taken drop to prepare for MBA CT exam, nothing should stop you from taking 5 to 6 mocks per week. Correct? Okay. Then you took admission into PUMBA, and as far as I know, you were also a member of placement committee, right? You were also heading placement committee in PUMBA, right? So what prompted you to again prepare for CAT and NMAT exams?
Yes, so one thing was pretty much sure for me, that I knew there is some sort of improvement that is required in my performance,
Hmm.
and knew I could have done better in my CET as well as in my other examinations. So I knew my lacunas, and I definitely wanted to be at the best possible college, or the best possible option that I could get. So after appearing for the MBA CET examination, the exams that were in front of me, that those were the exams like CAT, NMAT, SNAP, ZAT,
Hmm.
and then the CMAT examination. So out of that, except the CMAT exam, I appeared for each and every examination. One thing was pretty sure for me, that I want to get into the best college when it comes to the performance, when it comes to the the entire experience, learning experience that these premier colleges provide you. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life. So
Correct.
if you want to pursue your MBA, you have to be in the best college itself. That's why that helped me, or that motivated me to prepare again and get into NMIMS.
Correct. So I would like to highlight one point over here. That does not mean he is trying to demean or he is trying to undermine Pumbaa, right? He just wants to say कि यार मेरे टैलेंट के हिसाब से मुझे बेस्ट कॉलेज मिलना चाहिए था, एंड ही फेल कि यार आई एम नॉट मेड फॉर पुम्बा, आई एम मेड फॉर समथिंग बेटर देन पुम्बा, राइट.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Then now coming to your NMAT preparation. So again, when you were heading placement committee, it was I know how tough it is, correct? Because in Simsri as well, all the committees were headed by students, and we have seen them working day in day out to get the companies on campus, right? So you were managing that part of your life, and you were also preparing for exams again, even though that was a repeat year. So was it tough to manage all the things?
Yes, I think for specifically talking for the NMAT examination, NMAT is a when it comes to the NMAT examination, the sectional highlight, or the trends of the question is a bit difficult as compared to the MBA CET examination. So one thing that I had in my mind was, what what kind of questions that are going to be there in the examination. See, I have a limited amount of time, and I have to complete each and every aspect of my career, or maybe the tasks in front of me, whether it would be from Pumbaa, managing my academics, and then preparing for the examinations as well. So I had the in-depth information of what kind of questions are going to be there in the examination by appearing for the previous mocks, because there is a free mock that is available on before appearing for the NMAT examination. I think it is available at their site as well. So I appeared for that examination. In fact, I appeared for a couple of mocks given you, as in while I was preparing with you, the mock that you provided me. that also helped me to get insights of the examination. So one thing that I got to know, NMAT precisely focuses upon few topics like probability, permutation, combination. Then the level of verbal ability is high. There are few couple of, as in, if I solve a particular question right, then the difficulty level is going to get increase. It's going to
Correct.
increase.
Correct.
So this kind of pattern, I realized that, and I tried to capitalize on that. So instead of preparing again for again, I mean entirely, I just tried to focus upon that part which can be improved or which can be enhanced in a better way. So I managed accordingly.
Correct. Great. Great. Okay. Now, post exam rounds. So last in your time there was Watson Glaser test, and there used to be a PI. Correct. So even though as per the notification on NMIMS website, Watson Glaser test has been eliminated now or has been discontinued from this year, they are going to conduct their own aptitude test. Okay, for all the shortlisted students through NMAT exam. So would you like to give some inputs on the
Yes,
aptitude test?
yes, absolutely. So at my point of time, we had VAT, then the Watson Glacier test, and then personality interview. So
Hmm.
that was the sequence. The main emphasis or the main reason why as in NMIMS conducts these two examinations like WAT and Watson Glacier test is to check your cognitive or the critical thinking abilities.
Correct.
The way you represent yourself, the way you write your thoughts, this has to get tested. That's why they used to conduct that examinations. Even if I suppose they are not going to conduct these exams in the upcoming years, but in somewhere or the other, these skills, specific skills like critical thinking. So in critical thinking as well, I have jotted down few points. I would like to read that. The skills around your inference based questions, then the assumption making skills, then the deduction or the logical reasoning skills, in fact the interpretation, these kind of skills are going to get tested. So my first advice would be the do practice a lot in these 4 to 5 aspects, because you had appeared for these kind of questions in CET, in CAT, and in fact in other examinations. So it's just about increasing the difficulty and preparing for these kind of questions, because if they are going to conduct the aptitude test,
Hmm.
these kind of skills are going to get tested. So this is
Correct.
my advice number one. My second advice when it comes to the PI round, uh, for PI, the kind of questions that are going to get asked, or maybe that the panelist is going to face, it's very situation centric. If your profile is, if you are having some sort of work experience,
Hmm.
then the interview is going to get driven in that fashion. But one thing is pretty much sure, whatever things that you have done before appearing for the MBA examination, as in like NMAT, you have to be clear with what things that you have done or what things you are going
Correct.
to represent in the interview. Whether it would be your graduation, whether it would be your work experience, any kind of courses that you have done, and then any kind of internships that you have done, you have to be clear with what was the task and what was the situation and how did you perform in that situation.
Correct.
So these kind of things, so these things are in your hand. Rest of the things that are not in your hand, you can't control that. But my primary advice would be the things that you have in your hand, you have to be prepared for it. Other
Correct.
than that, few topics that are currently going that are going to in demand, like
Hmm.
in current affairs, there are few topics like diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI initiatives, then emergence of e-vehicles in India. The recent, I think in March, your new budget is going to get elaborated, or maybe it is going to get explained. So any information about the budget, what is the current situation? People are talking about many investments and entrepreneurship like Shark Tank India. These kind of shows are in demand. So you have to be prepared, or maybe you have to have some sort of information in these current hot topics. So I think that would be my advice.
Okay. So this is all about current affairs, business related information I would like to highlight, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So can you share your experience of personal interview? What were the, if you remember, obviously those are हो चुके वो बात को अभी. If you remember what kind of questions were asked, was it a stress interview or was it a normal interview, and did you feel confident after coming out of the interview कि यार हाँ अभी मेरा ये हो जाएगा, कि it was a surprise कि यार हाँ ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए था but ये हो गया.
Yes. So I would like to give you answer to this question in two passions. First, I would like to tell you my experience, and then I would like to tell few experiences of my friends that who have scored more marks than me, and they have
Parth,
the way
hi.
you scored now. So this kind of hello, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
this kind of feeling, how people come for this. Yes, it was a bit stress interview. The kind of ambience the NMIMS the ambience. NMIMS is very famous for its ambience, and the facilities that influential for it. When it comes to the questions, as soon as I entered into the cabin, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. There is some
Hello.
disturbance, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's clear now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, as I was mentioning, as I entered into the cabin, there were two professors sitting in front of me. As soon as I entered into the cabin, they asked me, "How do you feel coming back in coming to the campus? Where are you from?" So I told them that I'm from XYZ, as in I'm from Pune, and I came here at early in the morning, 8 o'clock. The first question that they asked me was, "How did you come to Mumbai? Was it like a train journey? Was it like a bus journey?" Exactly. So this kind of question was, I was not expecting this kind of question, but uh, the reason why they must have asked this question so as to get me comfortable, or maybe to reduce my tension. So this kind of situation centric question, you have to be present, you have to be prepared, and you have to be prompt to answer that question. So I answered it accordingly. Now they went straight ahead with asking about my graduation. They asked very basic questions. Since I am from a mechanical, as in the production engineering background, they asked few couple of questions from my core subjects, like strength of materials, or maybe top, not in-depth question, but about what different kind of machinings you have observed, etc. Then they asked me about my work experience. So what was your key role over there? How did you perform? What was your tasks? Was there any failure that you have observed, and how did you capitalize, or maybe how did you manage to get ahead of that failure? These kind of questions were asked. Then when they got to know that, okay, I was able to answer each and every question, then they started stressing me out. So they asked one particular question that I do remember still. They asked me about e-vehicles. So what is the difference in between the engines of a e-vehicle and a regular, as in the petrol engine? What is the difference in between that? So as an engineer, I think they must have asked me that question. I was not able to give them a satisfactory answer. So they went ahead with another question. They asked me about, since you came to Mumbai via train, how do train accelerate? What is the fuel system over there? For a local, you have seen that the locals run on electricity. So how does the electricity supply is available, or it is made available to the local? So these kind of questions they started asking me. Uh, for this question, I was not able to answer to each and every question. Still, I answered about 90 to 95% questions. So as soon as I came back from my interview, I was kind of satisfied with the way I performed. But still, I knew that, okay, I could have answered this question in a better manner, in a better fashion. So accordingly,
Matlab, there
that
can
is
be
my
there is a possibility, or there can be a situation where you are not able to answer a particular question, and
yes,
what is the best way to handle these type of situations is to accept,
yes,
right?
absolutely,
Right, instead
absolutely,
of giving the wrong answer, or instead of beating
yes,
around the bush, accept कर लो सीधे से कि sir, I am not completely aware about this particular situation, still I will try my best to answer the question. Or if you are
yes.
not at all aware about that particular scenario, just step back and say, no, I am not able to answer this question as I am not aware about this.
Yes, I would like to give an example for this question. One of my friends, he scored 250 marks in NMAT examination. So before coming to the interview, he was pretty much sure that he is going to get into the MBA core, as in the MBA main program. So he was very confident. But as soon as he came back from the interview, he was very sad and some sort of pressure. He looked very pressurized. I mean, as soon as I asked him what was the situation, he told me that there were a couple of questions where he was asked about the basic concepts in finance, since he was from the finance background. So they asked him a couple of questions, and as soon as he started answering them even better, I mean, in some sort of better manner, or maybe like in more sense, they started asking him in-depth questions. His main fault or his main lacuna that he found, or that he realized, was he started answering each and every question, even if he was not knowing about a particular fact.
Correct.
He started answering at each and every step. Rather, instead of that, if he would have done, or he would have said that, okay, sir, I'm not aware of this fact. I can get back to. I mean, I think I'm not so sure whether to answer to this question in this manner or not. But as far as I know, I'm giving you this answer. If he would have done this, then the situation would have been a better. So this such kinds of incidences does happen
Correct.
in my in
Correct, correct, correct. तो आपको you will have to be on your toes, you will have to be aware. Correct. You have to listen to the question. This is for the candidates who are going to appear for this year NMAT preparation, NMAT rounds. कि if you are not aware about the question, you are not aware about the background of the question, accept it. पहले तो खुद को आपको मनाना पड़ेगा कि यार हाँ आई एम नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दिस क्वेश्चन, एंड देन इंटरव्यू के सामने आपको एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा कि यस आई सर आई माइट नॉट बी एबल टू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन इन अ करेक्ट मैनर. करेक्ट, रादर देन गिविंग द इनकरेक्ट आंसर, क्योंकि वो तुरंत पकड़ लेते हैं. आपकी जितनी उम्र है उतना उनका एक्सपीरियंस है. ठीक है, ठीक है. सो वी नीड टू एक्सेप्ट दैट फैक्ट, राइट. Okay, okay. So, apart from this, Parth, would like to give any specific input, as we are at the fag end of our this section. Would like to give any specific info for the students who have got or who are expecting calls from NMIMS, I'll say any campus, not only Mumbai campus, from any campus. And also one more question from my side is, how is AI according to you impacting the job market in India?
Okay, so for sure. So I think I would like to answer to the second question at first. The AI market, yes, definitely. I was about to tell few hacks or few instances about the AI market. People have been using Chat GPT, tools like Chat GPT, Bard, etc. in their regular life. So definitely, the jobs and the nature of work is going to get changed for sure. But if you are well equipped and well enough knowledgeable in these kind of tools, and using these kind of tools and maybe technologies, yes, you can have, or you can get decent amount of jobs, as in from the packages perspective, from the responsibilities perspective. Yes, you can earn enough, but considering the fact that you are well equipped and well knowledgeable in these kind of fields, unless and until you know the fact, you're not going to grab that opportunities. People have been asking about expertise, or maybe people are people do require these kind of techniques and the knowledge in these domains in nowadays, in now fashions, because I have been observing in the placement scenarios as well in last couple of years. Yes, having some sort of knowledge or any expertise in these fields helps you to get ahead of others when it comes to the placements and the jobs. So my sincere request would be to have some sort of, maybe it might be a basic certification, or maybe basic like course, etc. But if you have that certification or a course with you associated to any AI tool, it would be beneficial for you for sure. It's not going to get wasted at any point of time. And answering to the second question now, you asked any tip. I would like to give a couple of tips. Since you are aware about tools like ChatGPT, Bard, people can use these tools in an efficient way for preparing for their MBA examinations and the interviews as well. First, you need to write down your hygiene question and answers in a script or in a Word format, and you have to check from your seniors, or maybe from Aditya sir, or maybe anyone else who would be assessing those skills, or who would be assessing those answers. Because as soon as you write down or jot down those answers, you will realize that what different things that I can put in my answers. unless and until you have that script in front of you, you are not going to, you won't be able to capitalize or maybe channelize your answers in a
Correct.
better way. So
Correct.
my first suggestion would be to write down the basic hygiene questions. Hygiene questions like why MBA,
Hmm.
what was your job, what is your strengths and weakness, what was your experiences, etc. My second suggestion would be increase your vocabulary. To increase your vocabulary, you need to start reading a lot. Even if you have 10 to 15 days ahead of your interview, you start reading at least 2 to 3 articles from, from Indian Express, papers like Indian Express or maybe Times Now. These kind of papers or these kind of articles reading will help you to jot down or articulate your thoughts in a better way. Your vocabulary is going to get improved. And third thing would be, since we have been talking about chat gpt and bard, you can put some sort of questions or maybe you can ask the gpt to create some real centric scenarios or situation centric scenarios from the questions point of view, and you can answer to those questions. In this way you can practice yourself. In fact, we ourselves, we currently using these chat gpt tools and ai tools in this kind of fashion to prepare for our interview. So that would be my suggestion, sir.
Okay. So to conclude the last part of Partha's answer, instead of being afraid of AI, befriend it. Correct? Okay. Learn to use the proper keywords, learn to give the proper commands to the respective AI tool to get the best possible output. Correct? And you will be definitely an asset for the company. Correct? Okay, Partha. Thank you so much for your time. I before we started this session, I would like to give you guys gives you guys an update that he has been busy in his placement scene since 8 a.m. in the morning, and अभी भी वो रात को 10 साढ़े 10 बजे तक आपके लिए बैठा हुआ है आपको गाइड करने के लिए. ठीक है. So if you guys have any doubts, any concerns or any questions, do shoot those questions to me. I'll route those questions to Partha and get back to you with the answers. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you very
would be
much, Partha,
happy
for
to
your time.
answer, and I would be happy to get in touch with anyone else here.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, chalo. Thank you. Bye bye.